Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello and welcome to your virtual tea time. I am your host, Tori, and today I am here with three of my favorites. We got Marci DuBois here. Hi, Marci.
Hey, Tor.
Hi. And we have Shannon Shaw here. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
So a lot of you guys will know Shannon from our trips, and this is your first time on.
Yeah.
Gotta get a little closer to the mic.
Sorry.
And then we have her husband, Gary, here. Hi, Gary.
Hello.
Get your words in now because you're not going too soon.
So we have Gary here, who's Shannon's husband, because we're going to talk match play. We all three of us, all three ladies here, played in the Arizona State Match Play Championship about 2 weeks ago at Aguila. And it was quite an experience for all of us. But before we get into that, and Gary did caddy for Shannon.
I'm also business manager and agent.
Wow. Are you taking on new clients? All right.
I would love to.
Very well done.
Yeah.
But let's get into what our golf game's going on right now. So Marci, you just walked into the studio and you said you were excited to get your new sticks.
Yay, I bought myself a present.
Okay, so what happened? You got fitted for new clubs?
Yeah, I haven't gotten new golf clubs in like 7 years.
7 years. And Marci, you are like close to a scratch golfer. Last time I said you were a scratch golfer and you're like, no, I'm not. So, but you're very close.
Going down again.
You're going down
I
again.
hadn't bought any and because I haven't played. I mean, I played, but then I retired and I'm playing more and I hadn't had new clubs. And I thought, you know what? I probably need new golf clubs because y'all are hitting it a lot farther than I am.
Okay. So where'd you go?
Actually, I'm a ping girl now. I was Cleveland because I was in California and Cleveland was the way. And then I went and got fit at ping for my woods a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. It was a wonderful experience. Amazing. And then they were coming out with their new stuff to our club. And I said, well, let me go hit some.
Okay. So they came to your club, Pinnacle Peak.
They did.
And they did a fitting right there. You signed up. You went through the whole process. What was it like?
It's great. They do the TrackMan. They fit you. They can, I probably hit 5 different iron setups. So the hood, the faces, the shafts, even the grips in some cases. And he has this TrackMan thing and he can show you where you hit yours and then all the other clubs, the groupings of where the ball went and how it went and what its flight was. And it was like, the numbers don't lie and you didn't get, and I wanted the hottest, newest, greatest thing, but I didn't hit them well. So I had to get like, not the hottest, newest, but it's a really good iron.
That's happened to me a lot of times where I've gone in to get the new stuff and it's like the older stuff was giving me better numbers and that's how it goes.
Yep. And then I was concerned. I'm like, are these the good ones? And they said they're only good if you hit them good. So
yeah. And when they're spewing out all those numbers, are you actually like listening or are you like me who is just like it's going through one ear and not the other and I'm just saying, yeah.
I like a few of the numbers that I understand, but I don't understand the whole thing. I looked at the picture of where the balls were grouped. Uh-huh. That was more important to me. And they're like different color balls.
You like pictures better.
I don't read. I can't read. That's why we golf well.
So your golf clubs just came in. They're waiting for you at the club. You're excited. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen when you have to take that first swing on desert?
It's going to be interesting. Oh, in the desert, in the rocks, I'm not hitting. No way. I'm going to take a desert club.
You throw a rock club in there.
Right.
Really, though? Yeah. You're going to use your 14th club as a desert club? Well, it matters what the
tournament is. If it's like a fancy tournament.
If it's like the Match Play Championship.
I will hit it off the ground.
Okay.
I will hit it off the dirt. I will hit it off the cart path. If it is like Sunday, I'm kicking it right back onto the grass.
Gary, tell us what a desert club is. Because not everyone here knows.
Well, if you grow up here, well, number one, it's awesome that you're going with Ping because it's a local company, right? That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And now it's worldwide and awesome. But growing up, Papago, and not being a good golfer, you go in the desert quite a bit. So then you end up with like a 7-iron or something that is beat up and you just throw it in the bag. And when you're talented like myself, you can only use 12 clubs. But I have room for an extra 2 rock clubs.
But yeah, it's basically a club in your bag that you use when you get in the desert and you don't want to scuff up your clubs.
And it gets all dinged. I hit one in a tournament and there's a chunk out of my 6-iron to this day. And every time you look at it, you go, oh. And I like things really perfect and nice.
I had a incident with a 60-degree wedge coming out of some rocks, and I whiffed like 3 times, and it was a brand new wedge, and it's still in my bag, but it's just terrible.
It's not looking great.
Yeah.
Shannon, when was the last time you were fitted for clubs?
Well, I started off with a set of Callaway Mavericks, and I still have them.
Well, remind the audience, when did you start playing?
2.5 years ago.
No way, really?
Yes.
Good for you, girl.
Thanks.
And what's your handicap right now?
Back up to a 9. I got down to a 6, and then
2.5
she
years.
went right
Two and a
back
half
up.
years down to a 6.
She had a hole in one 6 weeks in.
Well, that was just pure luck.
Really?
It took me 40 years to get my first hole in one.
That
Thank
was
you
pure
very
luck.
much. But it was worth 10 grand.
I went absolutely crazy.
He went nuts. He was pouring beer on me. He was like, he was throwing me in the air. Like, it was unsafe, but it was.
Give
really
us
fun.
the details now. What course? What hole? What's the yardage?
Our club in Idaho, it's called the Golf Club at Black Rock. It's such a fun, beautiful course, and it was their signature hole. It was only like 98.
Waterfalls.
It was 98 yards. I remember
It
that
doesn't
'cause that's
matter. I don't care if it's 98 yards.
I was the year I graduated high school, so that's why I remembered it. And I used my 9-iron.
One hop
Which is
in.
hilarious.
It was a
I'd only
great
been
shot.
playing for
Nice little
6
draw.
weeks.
And you saw it go in.
Oh, yeah, we
and-
watched it go in, and we were with another couple, and God bless them.
Oh, and we were doing a 9 and dine, and I was like, "What's the point of a 9 and dine?" You know, and he's like, "Let's just go; it'll be fun." And
Boom. Dunked it.
boom.
The poor guy
Yeah,
that was with us has been playing for 40 years and has never had one.
yeah.
And Shannon was like, "Oh, this is cool," you know, like she's excited,
Golf
but
is
like she
fun.
didn't. Yeah, she didn't like really understand how.
Is this going to happen again soon?
I know.
It will, actually. You've opened up the seat.
I can't remember exactly what you said to him, but you said something to him. It
Oh
was
my God. He was like, I've been playing for, 40 years and I've never had one. And I was like, "You've never had one?" And
They're
Gary
so
was
easy
like,
to get. No, I'm with you. I'm with the guy. I don't know him, but I'm with the guy.
yeah.
I felt
He
bad.
was like, "Okay, I quit."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have to get into starting to play golf 2.5 years ago, and you've already excelled. I mean, to even be a 9 handicap, even though that's not what you're happy with right now, because
Yeah.
you went down quite a bit. What'd you do? You just got into it, and then you've been playing a lot, or what's the process been like? And Gary, I'm sure you can fill us in too on the other details. But I mean, why'd you start playing?
She's an athlete to start, and
I just got I got obsessive. Like
Yeah.
I got.
and she's got work ethic.
I
That's
mean,
what
I
it
would
is. Like if she's,
practice all the time.
I mean, if it's like shuffleboard or bowling or
Or golf?
Ping pong.
business or like anything that she just sets her mind to it, and just goes. So
Yeah.
I took a lot of lessons and practiced all the time.
What was your
Still do.
experience like with lessons? Were they all private lessons, or were you
Yeah.
going to clinics?
All private.
And
Started
you
with the
liked
guy
it?
up in Idaho.
Mhm.
And took lessons a couple times a week. And it was during COVID. So, we had a lot of time to just take lessons, and then I would just practice like crazy. It was kind of the only thing to do, which was really helpful as
and
well.
it's so far north. It's light to like 9:30, 9:45. So
Yeah.
you can play.
Yeah, it was the only thing to do, and we could play all day. It was great.
And Gary's already playing. So do you guys enjoy playing together? Is that
Totally.
something
Yeah.
fun to do together too?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because my golf buddies, they give me shit. I just said it, the
Yeah.
S word.
It's okay. We can swear here on this podcast.
Okay, good. But they're like, "What? You're going to play with your wife?" And I'm like, "Come play with my wife, and then tell me afterwards if you're okay with." Like, 'cause
Yeah.
she's so competitive and she likes to gamble and she has a good time, and
Yeah, she
Yeah.
likes to play games too.
Right.
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
normally, beats them. So
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
yesterday
about that,
she beat me. For instance, I played and shot. I was on a heater. I was 1 over after 9, and I was like, "Yeah, this is good for me." And I'm a 5.
And then what
handicap.
happened on the back?
I just got a little confused.
lost focus, I think.
Lost focus. It's hard to walk because when you're big boned like myself, that's like a long journey. But it's my new commitment is walking because it's a flat golf course. So I have like no excuse at Phoenix Country Club to not walk. But
Yeah.
I got a
Yeah,
little
no,
tired.
you don't have
like,
excuses. Shannon, did you have a lot of influence on that? Where you like,
Yes.
you're walking today,
Yeah.
stop
If
it.
you're going to caddy,
Yeah.
you've got to be in shape. So.
Yeah.
Well, after I walked a couple times and he was in the cart, if I knew eventually he'd start walking because it's not like you can just
can you use the remote caddies. Those are awesome.
Yeah,
electric caddies. That says game changer.
I watched one of those remote caddies run over a guy at our club, which was
that is amazing.
Yeah, it clipped him, and his buddy, like I felt bad for him, but he's okay.
My first use of my back caddy at Pinnacle Peak, I ran over Hall of Famer Betsy King.
Oh.
Nice. Wow.
Whoopsie.
This thing's gonna be dangerous.
Real dangerous.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I lost focus and then I got my focus back and then I shot 79
and she beat you.
And Shorty over here shot 77 and was like, oh, darn, I beat you. Let me tally it up real quick. I'm like,
but is this your first couple times walking?
No. I mean, we went to I've walked before. I'm lazy, but I'm not that lazy. But we went to Pebble Beach and played in the TaylorMade Pro-Am, and that was like 4 days of
straight walking.
Or 5 days of straight walking.
That's a lot.
When I got done with that, I was like, you know what? I'm already kind of in it, so I'm going to let's keep
going.
Doing it. So
what's going to happen when she like just beats you all the time? Because we know it's going to happen. You know.
Did you rewind the tape where I told you that I was her agent and manager?
He's so great because he's like, I always say, like, being married to Gary's like being married to my personal cheerleader. He literally follows me around all the time and just tells me how great I am. Like, I can't remember the last time he criticized me. I'm not as nice to him as he is to me.
I'm in the same relationship. I'm in the exact same relationship.
You are?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, wait, let's talk about.
I don't deserve it.
I know.
No comment.
Marci, do you play a lot of golf with your husband?
We play at least once a week.
Yeah. And are you guys comparable players?
No, he's terrible. I shouldn't say terrible. Can we? No, he's doing better. He's too smart for golf. I decided. He's really good at everything he's ever done. And golf, he just wants to go out there and be great because why wouldn't you be? And it's hard. It's a hard game.
Golf
so he's doing better. He's getting a better attitude out there. So, and he's a phenomenal caddy. He's my caddy as well. Phenomenal caddy. He knows my game better than I do.
Yeah.
But sometimes can't do it on his own.
But he's totally okay with you beating him every single time.
Since, 30 plus years of it.
Yeah, he's used to it by now.
And he loves going out and, the guys come on the first tee, right? And it's the two of us, we're traveling and they look like, oh, we got to play with a woman.
Totally.
And then, I'll play whatever tees and they're like, oh, she's done this before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to get to that tee situation where I can back up a little bit.
You can do it.
Some people don't like, the guys would rather you tee off in front, even though it's a 20-yard difference and you're out driving them by 50. They're like, oh, well, she's at a different tee.
Yeah. Well, they'll still say though, like you're playing so well because you're playing, the red tees, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What you do then is you invite them to play the red tees
exactly
with you. No, it's brutal because they're, speaking from experience, your ego will be like, hey, I'm going to go drive this par 4.
Yeah.
Because it's 260 yards.
I'm going to shoot 5 under just because I'm way up here.
And then you actually do it and you get all sorts of weird yardages that you're not used to. And it's hard. It's different. We tried that a couple times up at our club and I'm like, I can't play up here.
Half a wedge isn't a lot of fun.
Nope.
Well, and that's the other thing with if you belong to a golf club and you play the same home course more times than other courses, just switching up the tee boxes, whether you're going back or forward, it's a whole new golf course, really. It's a whole new feel.
Yeah.
So let's get into the match play championship. Again, it was at Aguila Golf Course, which if you're unfamiliar with the Phoenix area, it's in Laveen and it is a Phoenix City course. It's in phenomenal shape.
Totally.
It was.
What a sleeper.
Right?
No, it's a fun course. I remember when they opened it because I was a Papago guy in Cano. And then they opened that one up and it was like, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. It's a drive, but
that's cool though.
Yeah. And I don't know, the drive doesn't bother me, but it's just in such great shape. It's really a sleeper. When you live in an area like this where there's so many options to play and quite a few expensive options that get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
It's nice to just go to a course like Aguila, which is a city course. It's in beautiful shape and it's a fun track to play.
But you can remember every hole. Like you can't remember every hole at some of these other courses like that place. I mean, it's like,
It wasn't boring. It was not boring
It's
at all.
not. It's
Yeah. I
beautiful.
wish they would have had windshields on the golf carts. Other than
Yes.
that was
It was
Yes.
cold.
Well, you should have walked, Marci.
I brought my caddy.
All right, so let's get into it. Shannon, now Marci signed up on her. Did you sign up on your own, or did we have to push you to sign up for that one? Because it's a state event, so sometimes it's hard getting the attendance and participation that you want.
Yeah, no, I think you guys, I mean, I knew it, some of this stuff. So I think y'all just sent me a note and said, hey, sign up for this, sign up for that. So you kind of nudged.
And did we give you a slight nudge?
Yeah.
Shannon?
Molly was like, hey, you should sign up for this. You should sign up for these events. So I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. And then I get the tee times and it's like, you're playing against Tori Totlip. I sent her a text and I was like, fuck my life. Are you kidding me?
I had to talk her off the ledge
I was
like twice. And I'm like, you know what?
It's
I
fine.
said, she puts her pants on just like you.
Yeah. And she's like a +1 and I'm a 9. So
Well, you never know.
And match play, you never know.
And I hadn't met you at that point, but I was like, does she like sushi? Can I send her some raw sushi or something like that?
we don't play like that.
And now that you know me,
you might not
would have
play like
sent
that, but doesn't mean your caddy can't play like that.
Gary will play like that.
Well, breaking news. I'm just going to break this right now. Tori, that match, you were actually disqualified because you had 16 clubs.
I had my two desert clubs
I
in
counted.
there.
Yeah. I tried throwing that at her.
I wish that you had brought Gary to caddy for you that day. I kept telling her, bring Tara to caddy for you. And Tara was out of town or doing something, who knows, but you should have brought Gary in.
Well, I know. Next time. Now, I brought Gary out of sheer desperation the second day because it was so awkward for me the first day because no one really talked. And I was like, I'm used to golfing with him or with, just more casual rounds where you kind of just talk the whole time. And that's good
happened?
and bad, but y'all were dead silent and you freaked me out.
We were.
Who was the third?
So, okay. So
fourth?
just to give the listeners a kind of bird's eye view of what was going on. So it's match play and we couldn't have one match per tee time. We had to combine two matches for one tee time. So it was still a foursome, but two separate matches were going on at once. So Shannon and I were playing against each other. And then it was Corrine and Christine playing against each other. And, we're getting through a couple holes and there's no talking.
We chit-chatted. Once you get older.
That's what Molly said.
We chatted the whole friggin' day.
I would have been talking to you the entire time. I would have been bouncing around in that dome.
But I hear you though, because I feel the same way. I mean, that's why with my husband too, same thing. It's like, I just need somebody to talk to because I can't not, I mean, I'm not overly social, but I sure as heck need something to distract me.
Yeah. And I just think that, again, we were all walking. I think Christine was the only one driving. So we're all kind of going on. Like when you're all in carts, I think it's a little different, but we're all walking and doing our own thing. And I don't notice the silence as much, but I think it was probably 5 or 6 holes in. You're like, I don't think this is for me.
I'm like, this is like, you like this, huh? You like this silent golf thing? And I went up to Christine. I'm like, are you always this quiet when you golf? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, whoa. All right. Like, I guess it's a quiet golf day, but it freaked me out. So the next day I was talking to Gary and he's like, I will drop everything and I will come be your cat.
Oh my God. Stop, Gary.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. It's
Yeah.
I'm not going to get one like this ever again. So come on.
No, you picked a winner too. But so again, about a couple holes in and we're playing just over 6,000 yards, which is also a big change for you. I was actually surprised that they had us that far back. I knew they were going to have us close to 6,000, but having it, I think it was around
6,100 yards.
Yeah, which is a lot for us because in our general country club, ladies league environment, we're usually playing 5,600, or even shorter sometimes. So that's a big reach for us at times. Was that? No, that was a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I was already in my mind on my way there. I'm like, okay, like I just want to win like maybe 4 or 5 holes. Like maybe Tori will get a bogey. here or there.
Maybe she'll twist her ankle in a gopher hole.
Or maybe
Not
she'll
wishing
have
it on
food poisoning from sushi.
Yeah. And then when we got to the first tee and I looked all over the form for the yardage because I was like, if it's too long, I don't want to play.
Yeah.
And then when they were like, oh, it's 6,000 yards, I was like, and then my goal became to win one hole, which I did because you had a blow up hole. Yep. Thank God.
Yeah, take that.
I think she did it on purpose, but I'll take it.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's why
Well, all I know is the speed sticks are in the garage now, and there's some significant training.
There's
happening.
speed training going on.
Yeah.
And also, that when I talked to you the second day, Gary, you're saying, okay, we're going to start playing different yardages. Well, you're telling us and Shannon, like, we're going to get used to those yardages. It's so good for your game.
Yeah.
Because again, and we're walking down, Shannon at one point, Marci goes, why am I doing this?
Totally.
Like in that, we've been in that spot where you're on the golf course and you're like, what am I doing? Like, I just want to go home. I just want to be with my kids. I want to be with my family. I want to go back to work.
Yeah.
Like going back to work sounds better.
Like,
right
is there
now.
A church nearby?
Yeah.
Like,
can I volunteer somewhere? I feel like a horrible person in the middle of the golf course. We've all been there. And I just, when you said that to me, I knew exactly the way you feel because I've been there so many freaking times that I can't even count. And I'm sure Marci, you have too, where you're just like, what is this?
I mean, I was getting outdriven in my group. 50, 30, 40. I used to be the big hitter at the club, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm a stick.
Right.
And then you go out and play in some of this real stuff and you're getting outdriven. That's the biggest thing I had to learn was I'm not going to be the long hitter, but I'm down the middle every friggin' time.
Right.
And I can still make a birdie or a par from there.
Right.
And I can't play their game. Like they'd get up on the tee without a driver. I'm looking, going, what am I missing here? Because I'm going to try to hit my driver as hard as I possibly can. But yeah, so it's, and even at the senior division, it's like, they're hitting it a ton.
Yeah. Oh, Molly.
And the senior championship division too is still more yardage than we're normal. I mean, you guys are probably playing 5,800.
Yeah,
I
it was
would
close to
imagine.
58. I mean, I was hitting a 5-wood into some of the par 4s, which isn't a lot of fun. And I hear you. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is no what? I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's so good for your game. And you're right. If you can go to the club and play different tees, I try to do that now too, especially with the qualifiers that we've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And I told Shannon as she's in this mental spiral going through the round, I was like, you have to just trust this process because once you go back out and you're playing, just against Gary or against other ladies at the ladies league, like everything looks so much easier.
Yeah. That's true.
It is. And so I don't want you to give up on
no, I told Tara, I was like, I'm never doing
tournaments.
one of these ever again. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, okay, I'll do it again.
What's next on the calendar?
Yeah.
My brother gave me really good advice years ago. He said, I was playing club championships and I won a couple, but I wasn't dominating like I thought I should. And he's like, until you start playing tournaments outside of the country club, the either, AGA or WSCG, whatever they are, he said, that's what they have the advantage on you because you're learning to play different stuff, and you're uncomfortable and blah, blah. And then you win.
It's reps. Reps.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And reps under pressure too, in unfamiliar courses and situations too. Because even at the club, you can play that course nonstop, and your body, your mind, you know where to go, where to miss, what to do, what to expect. So, Gary, what'd she say when she got home that day? Because man, I was trying to reel her in. I was like, okay, it's okay, everything's good, everything's good.
I don't know. I don't remember. I just know it wasn't like. She was obviously disappointed, but she just had a bad day and bad days happen.
Well, and I was like, I need more distance. I mean, when, those par 4s were really long for me from that distance, and when I can't get there in 2 on a par 4 and you're there in 2, right? And I'm like,
yeah, but you were hitting like 4 irons or 5 irons into those, right?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I was still hitting a big club end.
Yeah, it's
like
a long iron.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, so you hit a 3-wood or a 5-wood or whatever it is, and you're 20 yards off the green, and it's like you got great hands though, great short game.
and going into my final match too, I mean, I was just on the opposite end. I was in the same spot as you, Shannon, where I'm playing against Ashley Shaw, 13 years old, 6'1", a total just, I want to say beast in the nicest way possible.
Powerhouse. She is a powerhouse.
Great last name too.
Yeah, great last
exactly.
name,
Ashley
right?
Shaw.
Yeah.
She plays out of the Wigwam, I believe. And again, 13 years old. She's playing in national tournaments. She was on the Golf Channel like that Thursday night when I played against her. I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? And she's driving the ball past me 50 yards. And so where I'm hitting a 7 or a 6 iron, she's hitting her, gap wedge. And I'm having the same thoughts like, God, I wish I was hitting a wedge, man, and
I need more distance from my 290 that I'm already hitting it.
and she's just swinging because again, Aguila is a desert course, so the fairways are fairly wide, but you still can get in trouble where it's like she gone, like you're taking an unplayable or you've just lost your ball. She's stepping up to that tee box and just swinging as hard as she can.
No fear.
And that's what I love watching with these younger kids is they have no fear and they know like you get that thing down as far as possible, and they're just swinging away. It is fun to watch. But so Marci, what was your first round like?
It was great. I played Robin, who I don't think I'd ever played golf with her before.
Really?
Yeah. Great.
It's hard to believe.
Great player. And then I had, I think I had Molly and Sue O'Connor, right? No, I had Sue and Lee.
Okay.
I had Sue and Lee. God, it's terrible. You can't remember these things. And so I played with Sue, but I hadn't played with Lee. And I've heard just Lee Lee dominates everything.
You haven't played with Lee?
I had never played with Lee.
Oh my gosh.
I played tournaments with her, but I had never played with her. So it was great. It was very competitive. We were a little more chatty. Thanks God. And you're right. We were riding. So I rode with Robin too. And so we chit-chatted a little bit. But it's serious. I mean, it's still very serious. And it was just great. I mean, it was fun to watch them play. And then I got to watch Lee play because I ended up beating Robin. And then I had to play Lee. So I at least got to see her play and knew kind of what I was going to be up against. Not that helped me, but at least provided a little bit of insight. So, no, it was fun though. It was, I was 2 down after 9. Match play is just the greatest format because you can blow up and you go to the next tee and as long as you got holes left, you got a chance. So it was great.
I mean, I had a hole I was completely out of against Ashley, and I think she had only hit 2 shots, and I'm like, "Yep, it's a par 5."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Pick up,
Yep, let's go.
We're moving on."
Yeah.
Like I don't need to keep going. It's fine.
And get it out of your head and be a goldfish that we're supposed to be?
Yeah,
Goldfish.
I think like goldfish, right?
They don't
Right,
remember.
Gary?
They don't remember anything.
Exactly.
But no, it's great because your blow up hole, I mean, you could make a 10, but you sure can't get those back on. You can lose them on one hole, but you can't get them back on one hole when you're playing stroke. And so that's why match play was just, I love match play. And then when you have a partner in match play, that's really fun.
So you played the Senior USGA Amateur Championship in Anchorage.
I did.
This past summer. And you made it to match play then.
And I did.
So going into the match play championship this December here in Arizona, what kind of goals did you have?
I don't do that like you. I mean, I know you talk about that all the time. I'm still finding my way around because I'm still new. Now after Alaska, I'm like, I want to play in every USGA event I can possibly qualify for.
Fabulous.
It was so amazing.
That's the first time I was ever in Alaska.
In the last, it'll never be there again. As good as Levine is, I mean, it was fine. We had I mean, they couldn't do enough for us. It was great, but the weather was cold. The golf course wasn't great, but no, it was phenomenal.
But I want to piggyback off of that because that's why we're going to have Shannon play in the USGA Mid-Am qualifier this summer, right, Gary?
Oh, fun. So you kick my ass again.
No, I actually won't be playing in it, but
And in fairness, though, her driver, I think she's got a 12-degree driver right now. So I think we turn that thing down to about a 10. It's going to go a little bit further.
Lasers.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll tell you what. So Lee, who has dominated, she's played in 60 USGA events. 60.
It's amazing.
That's incredible.
60.
Uh-huh.
And probably won 20. I don't know. She's phenomenal. But she doesn't hit as far as Molly anymore or Robin or, some of the other gals. But I'll tell you what. It was so annoying. I thought, you give in match play, right? You can give a putt. You don't have to putt out. So she'd get on the green. And if she didn't make the birdie, every single one of them was a gimme. And if she by chance missed the green, which she didn't do very often, her chip was always a gimme. And after about 4 or 5 holes, I'm like, I'm making you putt it because I'm tired of giving them to you because this is ridiculous. And I'm like trying to save a 6-footer for par to go on and, drive myself crazy.
Wait,
so
6 feet in the men's game, that's good. 12 feet's good usually.
Not us.
Like that was, I mean,
she saw me putt a few times.
Like, wait a
She
second,
knew
you
I'm
got to
putting
putt that out? It's like 14 inches.
I know.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, no, it was, but she just, that was a thing for me. So distance is very important. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, she, honest to God, her misses on the putting green were an inch.
Yeah.
And her chips were a gimme too. It was just
her short game's phenomenal. And if anything, any putt inside 15 feet, you gotta think Lee's making it.
Yeah.
So why aren't you playing the Mid-Am?
So for the championship, for the actual Mid-Am championship, I'm in Ireland.
Oh.
So there's no point in me trying to qualify. But going back to the Mid-Am qualifier, the Mid-Am level, especially for females, this doesn't apply to males, but for females, it's a very low participated qualifier because, most women our age, they've either, they're in raising kids mode or they're working or they're college players who can't play to that level anymore and they get frustrated and they just don't want to play anymore. So it's just a very low number of women that are playing in these qualifiers. So you could go out to, it's a 1-day qualifier.
Okay.
My guess it's going to be at Mirabelle again. And it's 1 day at a beautiful course. And you're competing against maybe 10 to 12 other ladies.
Mm-hmm. For how many spots? 4?
2.
2 spots.
2 spots. And anything can happen in 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could shoot, you'll probably definitely get in under a 76, but you could shoot a 79 and get in. You just never know. And once you make it to a USGA championship, game over. Mm-hmm. It's the most incredible experience ever. It's very hard to explain, because you just, in your head, you just think it's like a glorified club championship. No, it's unbelievable. Yeah. So,
super fun.
Gary,
super,
put that in your calendar because you can have a caddy.
Yeah.
She's already picked up like 20 yards for real. I'm not
I love
kidding.
this.
No, I mean, she came home and she was like, this has got to stop. What do I need to do?
That's awesome. Yeah. That is so.
Well, that's that determination.
That you're driven by. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not going to go work on it quite so much. I'm trying. I just get bored.
So are you really just using swing trainers at home or, because I know you were saying Andrew too.
Yeah, I work out with Andrew every Monday. I love him.
Yeah,
he's just great. Wonderful. I know. I'm like, can we work out like every day? He's like, no, you can't.
I think it's cool because Shannon's got, we have some really good friends that played professionally and she's been able to leverage their knowledge. And,
huge.
Yeah. I'm working and I'm cheerleading and being a caddy and all that fun stuff. And I was bummed that we didn't get to play golf this last weekend because I was just busy with holiday stuff and all that. But so
it's great.
But she's out there just, working. So
the swing trainers work. I've never done one.
Supposedly they do. Like
it's a weighted. We have
club, friends that are like tour players, and they swear by them that they'll give you what was it, like 30 extra yards? 20 to 30 extra yards.
No,
where do I get one?
Well, it's like 95% of people get 20 to 30 more yards.
What?
I know.
Every people?
Yeah.
Every people.
Yeah, but you gotta.
But you have to do it. But it's only like 9 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Is it just a weighted
every
club?
other day?
It's every
and there's 3 of them, and then there's like a series that you do. Like there's you do a stand and swing, you do like a kind of like a walking swing.
You're gonna have to send me a picture of what it is so I can include it in the show notes. But tell us about working out with Andrew though. Did you start working out with Andrew and go to him and say, I want more distance, or what was your goal when you started working out with Andrew?
So up in Idaho, I have a TPI fitness instructor because I wanted to get more distance and just. I love to work out, but I don't really have like a routine when I go to the gym or anything. And I'm not good at doing the videos like you are, really disciplined, but I kind of need someone to walk me through different things every day. Mm-hmm. Otherwise I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So why am I here type thing? Mm-hmm. And I was doing a lot of yoga, but that doesn't do much for you in golf.
It's brutal. Yoga is brutal.
I was like, maybe I'll do this TPI thing. And so
hot yoga.
I started going to this girl in Idaho, and she actually was like, well, what are you going to do when you go back to Phoenix? And I'm like, I don't know. I got to find someone. And she's like, you should go to Ando because he actually helped them start their gym up there. He advised them on like what to do. And I was like, God, that name sounds familiar. And then I looked him up and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the same guy that did our stretches at Desert Classic and all that.
Yep.
And yeah, then I like wrote him and begged him to take me in as a client, and
Nice.
here we are. But yeah, really it's for distance and just general injury prevention, and just trying to get stronger. You know, we work all, my core is by far the weakest part of my body.
too.
And all we do is core.
No, that's all I do when I go there.
I know. It's so,
He messaged me the other day. He's like, do you want to work out this week? Because I'm kind of on like last minute cancellation kind of slide in kind of deal. And I go, okay, I'll come up there, but I want to lift heavy weights, not just do crunches the whole time. No core work, just squats. But yeah, it's like he's got me shaking up there. But now we got to get into this hot yoga thing.
Oh.
Gary, what hot yoga studio do you guys go to?
Well, let's just say not us guys. I've gone a couple times.
I brought Gary to hot yoga once, and this was a couple years ago. This was pre-COVID.
Time out. Context is important. So Shannon lived in LA for a long time, and she was Arizona and then LA, and I was just Arizona my whole life. So when Shannon and I got together, she introduced me to sushi, which sounds terrible, but I was
Sushi
like, wow,
and
this is
hot
good.
yoga.
Yeah, this is good. You know, the LA girl.
Stereotypical right now.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so she's got the hot yoga thing going, and she's like was unbelievable at it and swears by it, and you could just tell she's super strong and fit and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll
Dirty.
go. But she didn't tell me like anything about like it would be like me taking her out to the golf course and not explaining any etiquette, like golf course etiquette.
Yeah.
So now you can go ahead with your story.
So I brought him to hot yoga, and he's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get fit. Right. So we go to yoga, and the first time he went, he just would get hot and he'd walk out of the room and back in the room and out of the room and back in the room, which you're not supposed to.
No, you don't do that.
You're not supposed to do it. And, it's good, and it's gross. I mean, he sweats a lot. And so he's sweating all over people as he's walking by them.
For those of you at home listening, it's 6'4", 200.
Well, and I want to remind the listeners that this is actually on
45
YouTube first, so you can see Gary. He's sitting right at the table.
Fit as a fiddle. No.
So then I was every time afterwards, I'd be like, Gary, you can't do this anymore. You cannot get up and walk in and out of the room. So he's like, so he was like, I'm going to go to hot yoga with you again, a couple of days later. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you can come, just you cannot get up. And
just get in child's pose.
Half the time he'd walk out of the room, and then I go out there and he's just
Corpse
yucking
pose.
it up with whoever's waiting for the next class, like
I can see this.
making,
Just dripping and
making a
sweaty
friend.
and gross.
Oh yeah, just making a friend, talking about how hot he is, like not physically hot, but like hot.
No, I like both versions. That's kind of funny.
He's kind of cute.
Big old dad bod.
Right. And so he goes this next time with me, and lo and behold, we get, well, first of all, there was a man in front of him that was twice your size.
Maybe 3 times.
And literally
and about,
the most limber.
About a foot shorter than me too.
The most limber human you've ever seen in your life. He had his leg like above his head. And I could just see Gary's face. He's like, I need to be doing what that guy's doing.
I mean, I can't believe this guy is like, I'm not that out of shape. Like, and this guy is just crushing.
Gary's just in there like busting his ass, trying to do every pose perfectly and hold it forever. And I was like, oh no. And so then halfway through the class, he is just done. Like, and so he lays down, and I'm like, just lay there. Don't get up.
Wait for the wet towel that's going to come along.
Exactly. But nope, he gets up and he walks out, and I was like, so frustrating. So he didn't come back in for like a really long time. So I'm like, I wonder if he's okay. So I go out and check on him. And the lady that works front desk was like, oh no, he left. He said something about like going to the hospital. So I get my phone and I call him, and he's like, babe, I'm at the heart hospital. I think I'm having a heart attack. So I go to Abrazo Heart Hospital.
How many people listen to this?
And
so good.
He's laying there in his work clothes. He changed out of his yoga clothes back into his work clothes. His work clothes are soaking wet. He's laying there. God. And the doctor's there, and he's like, it's my left ventricle. I know it's my left ventricle. I'm like, Oh my God. And the doctor looks at me and he's like, I think he's okay. I think he's just dehydrated, but we'll run some tests. Yeah. No, it's my left ventricle. I know it.
I can't move my arm.
Going down.
He was fine after like.
Have you done hot yoga again?
5 bags of fluid. Like,
oh,
like I was.
You were a little dehydrated.
Like I was a lot dehydrated. My heart felt like it was coming out of my chest.
Trying to compete with the other dude in hot yoga.
And your wife.
The male ego is just a
out of
beautiful
control.
thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Have you been back since?
Yeah, in Idaho.
Do you like it?
Yeah, in Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it sounds awful.
No, Idaho.
I've never done it
You know
because
what?
I think it's gross. I think there's bacteria growing.
Well, there's definitely that, but you just have to get over that. There's bacteria everywhere. Like you just touch that table and you're.
It's done.
Yeah.
You're at germs.
I know, but I can't. No.
I'm kidding.
No, but it is gross.
It is.
Like there's some studios I go in that I feel more gross in than others, but I do enjoy hot yoga.
Yeah. It's a good sweat.
Yeah.
You sleep so amazing.
Yeah.
If you can get through it. No, I've gone through like 5.
After the heart attack or before
After
the heart attack? You sleep really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you go to the first one of the day, like if they have a 5 a.m. or 6
that's a
a.m.
good
class, then it doesn't appear to be as gross too.
No, true, because they have people come in and clean it. They
It's when you see the other people like me walking out sweating profusely.
right.
Like,
Or
What do you
walking
wear?
over you.
nothing. Just underwear.
Well, that's
He's
for
kidding.
that's for a boy.
Yeah.
He's
No, I mean,
No, like shorts. Like just shorts.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's gross. I mean, you see the big guys like me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, it's
In
a
a bathing
lot.
suit.
It is a lot of sweat. It is, but there
You
is
wear
something
shoes?
about it that's really
Socks and
Yeah.
shoes? No socks and shoes?
You
No.
don't want anything on. It's 100. It's like 100.
Yeah, you don't even want to wear.
It's 102
long
degrees with like
tights,
100% humidity. I mean, it's.
It's good for your skin, though. Your skin is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's claustrophobic,
Yes, yeah.
and you have to be quiet. That's the other
And
part.
don't go like January 1st or January 2nd. Like it's
When
the
all the
whole month of
yahoos are there.
January, they just cram in there. Like there is
Yeah.
no space to even do.
Sardines. It's
not
true.
I would remember you would come home and you were like, I only got about 10 more days because she would go religiously.
Yeah.
She's like, until all of those New Year's
The
resolutions.
revolutionaries are out.
Oh yeah. Happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to just wrap up the match play championship and see
this what we're talking about?
happened. What happened? That was a great story, though. That was worth it. I want to see what happened. So Gary came in the second day. Like, what does Gary help you with? Because it's not common for women to use caddies a lot. You know, like Marci, you said that your husband is your caddy in certain championships times, but it really, like, your husband wasn't there at match play.
No, he offered.
But it's just not common. So you probably thought that would be weird, right?
I did. I wasn't sure. Yeah, again, but now that I saw Gary there, Joe will totally be there. He'll love it. But and then it's also the 1 butt rule, right, in the cart. And I wasn't sure if the course was walkable or not because he can walk it. But, so anyway, no, that isn't very common. But I tell you, if you have a good caddy, even if they don't know golf, just to keep you to your point,
Right.
talk to you.
Yeah.
That's what I need to. And that's it. Yeah.
And I think that's what I said to you, Shannon. I said, yeah, totally. You can have a caddy. And if it's just to talk to you, just to be with someone else, that's even better. But how does Gary help you on the course?
Well, in this particular case, it was just having someone to talk to because you guys freaked me out because y'all were so quiet. But then Christine was like, yeah, I'm a quiet player. And I was playing her consolation bracket the next day and I knew she wasn't going to talk. She was taking a cart. She wasn't feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I cannot just walk by myself for 18 holes and not have anyone to talk to. I would just end up texting him the whole time and being like, this is so awkward.
Yeah.
So I was like, might as well bring him. And we had
plus
so
the
much
more
fun.
you caddy, but the more you caddies too, then on the bigger tournaments that you are going to play in.
Yeah.
And that's right. It's nice to be comfortable with your caddy, even if it is your husband who you live with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice because you worry about your caddy too. Like, is he going to make a mistake or is he going to do something dumb or whatever? And so the more you get him out there with reps.
I mean, my raking ability is better than
He is a great raker.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, it's world
quite
class.
something.
Yeah.
He read a couple putts too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not very good at
Yeah.
that, though.
I mean, you were really good at pulling the pin.
I was 10 to the flag. And
But do you know, I mean, I'm sure you know Shannon's game enough to know, like, okay, this is your 7-iron or not yet.
I'm not clubbing her because I don't know. Yeah. The other thing too is like she, from week to week, because she's getting better and better and better. It
changes.
It changes.
Does. Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
like the 9-iron used to go 100.
Used to go 98 yards.
Yeah, and now it's 100 and whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather a caddy say like use your 125 club instead of this is your
Right.
signal.
Actually, I
Yeah,
like that.
that's
I
huge,
prefer
yeah.
that too.
Or if you're between, do I hit a little more? Do I hit a little less?
And I only like left. It's going left or going right on
Right.
putts.
And speed,
Yeah,
up and down.
Yeah, just the up and down thing. But like, I'm not.
No more information.
No, because I mean that's a death sentence. If I like, there's been a couple times where I stand over a putt and she's like, "It's going right, right," and I'm like, "Shit, yes, it better be going right."
Well, I think it's really fun that you guys did that together.
That's
and
fun.
I mean, what's next? Is a club championship next at Phoenix? When's that?
Yeah, I don't know when that is. I'm going to give it another shot this year. Last year
Yeah,
was
every year you're going to give it a shot. What are you talking about?
well, last year, we had Tara at our club last year. And,
Yeah.
and it was like, why even try? I mean, Tara's so amazing. She's so good. She's like you. She's like a scratch golfer and she's really good. But of course, Tara was like, Shannon, come play. It'll be fun. And me just being like, yeah, I'll always play. I didn't realize it was stroke play and you could get like a 20 on a hole. Well, I got a 10 on hole 11 at Phoenix Country Club.
Yeah, but you pulled yourself up afterwards.
I still shot an 87, which for
Yeah.
having a 10 on the card, I was pretty happy with.
I would be too.
So,
Wait, I'm trying to envision number 11 at Phoenix.
I know.
That's
Green-
just a par 4, right?
Yeah, but she was in a greenside bunker and she caught it thin into
water.
Osborne.
Out of bounds.
And then I was nervous. And then I was just a
Okay, but-
really bad, unfortunate series of
We
events.
all have those stories, right?
Yeah.
I did that on the third hole at Coto de Casa in one of my first club championships. I took a 10 on the third hole, and the gal that I was playing with said, "Oh, now you can just be like the rest of us and play for fun." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I got to make like 7 birdies now to make up for my 10." And she looked at me like, "Well, you're not like us." I mean, what else are you going to do? You've got to,
Make a game of with yourself at that point.
Well,
just
that's
to
what I
keep
did
going.
with Lee when she was, on the back. She was beating me bad, and I was dormy, right? So I'm down the number of holes that are left for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, so Dormy is like if you're down 4 with only 4 holes to go, so you have to win out every single hole in order to just tie and then go into extra holes.
And if you tie a hole, you lose.
Yeah.
So I think I was 6 down with 6 to go.
and
And
what
I
happened?
beat her and then I'm like, okay, well, I know I just got to beat her on these holes. I don't know if it changes your mindset or what. And then I beat her like 3 holes in a row, which I hadn't done all day.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I'm still in. This is going to be the greatest comeback of all time. We're going to tie. We're going to go into extra holes. And then I can't, then it didn't happen. But no, it was good because you have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have to,
Yeah.
but it was fun because it was like you could have just given up and walked out. I'm like, I'm not done yet. I want to keep playing.
Mhm.
So
Well, and you have to learn through these match play experiences that you can come back. I mean, just this year, I've had 2 experiences where I've been 3 down going into the back 9. And in the past, I'd be like, okay, I just want to get this over with. I just want to like lose and go home. But I've had now 2 experiences this past at Match Play Championship and then at AZ Utah where I was down 3 going in the back 9 and I've actually come back to win it. Not win it here, but I've at least come back. I at least came back from 3 down. Like it's totally possible.
Yeah.
I got a tip for all of you guys.
Let's hear it.
Look both ways before you cross. No, I'm just kidding. No. So the tip is when anybody asks you why you got like a large score, like, well, how did you get a 10
Yeah.
on number 11 at Phoenix? All you have to say is I missed my putt for 9.
Exactly.
Right. And then you just move on with it. Right.
Yeah. Like, duh.
Yeah.
And it's hard because
I
the whole
tried.
club's watching. I mean, especially the women's one because
Was this the
only, like-
finals? You and Tara in the finals?
No.
Oh,
It
okay.
was the there.
It was a
At
stroke
Phoenix,
play qualifier.
Mhm.
right?
Oh, okay.
At
for the club
Phoenix-
championship?
Yeah, they do a stroke play qualifier and then
That's what Arizona does too.
the top 2 play match play, right? So, yeah, with
Oh, that's different.
but everyone was watching.
No,
us.
it was the top 4 that
Oh,
played
the
the
top
match
4
play.
play
Yeah.
match play?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 3-day deal.
No, it was you guys all go out and you qualify.
Yeah,
And in your instance, there was only
4.
5. There was 5
5,
people that
yeah.
signed up,
Yeah.
so they had
Yeah.
stroke play, and then they seed you based off of the stroke
Yeah,
play.
that's
that's
right.
what we do at
Yeah, that's
Arizona.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
No,
play
that's
3 days of aggregate
Oh, really?
stroke play.
Yeah. You see
I like
match
that
play a
better.
little bit more than stroke play nowadays. But,
Yeah.
you mentioned Tara. Tara's on the podcast a lot. So the listeners recognize the name. And she won Desert Classic last year, too.
Yeah.
So if you're at Desert Classic, you probably saw her there. But you're so lucky to have someone like Tara in your life to
I
just
know.
like guide you along the
Mhm.
way. You can ask
Yeah.
her any questions and you play with her quite a bit. So it just rubs off on you. So it's
Yeah.
it's no surprise to me that if you've been playing with Tara for at least the past year,
Yeah.
that it's probably excelled your game even more just playing with her.
Yeah. No, she's helped me so much. And her experience, not just as a player, but as a caddy. I mean, she was a caddy on the LPGA for like 8 years.
Yeah,
or something
no,
like that.
she's legit.
Gary should be hanging out with her.
I know.
I do hang out with
think,
her.
Gary does.
Shut up.
Her and Brandy came out and stayed with us for a week
I love it.
over the summer, and she was my member guest partner, and we kicked some ass until the horse race, which was a net horse race, and
Yeah,
I think we had eagle every hole.
Yeah, no, it's a net
It's always
game.
fun.
Yeah.
It's a net game.
But I mean, she's taught me so much,
Yeah.
and she's so calm all the time, and
She's a good egg.
Yeah, they're
casually
amazing.
shoots 2 under.
Oh yeah. Marci, did you have someone when you started playing that taught you the ropes or that you hung out with a lot that was?
I was from a golf family, so I guess the whole family kind of, we learned, I mean, I was driving a golf cart at 5, eating a hot dog with my grandpa, which was
That's awesome.
wonderful
Yeah.
memories. And you learn how to act on the golf course. And then my brother is a pro.
Yeah.
I caddied for him for many
wow.
years. And
That's cool. Do you think if they would have taken you to yoga, they would teach you etiquette on yoga? Do you think they would have been cool?
yeah,
Now I want Marci to go to hot yoga. Like I feel like
no,
this
because
is
I
like
can't
an
even touch
outing
my
now.
toes.
Oh, it'd be so good for your golf.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And you said it wasn't good for it. Is good. I think it's really
No, it is good. It's
yeah.
good.
I
You
just,
have
I can't get over I'm a
the sweat.
germophobic
Yeah.
before COVID. Like I never touched anything before
Yeah,
COVID.
you
Yeah. No, you would not probably enjoy.
Well, she'd have to go into a class that's not really well attended, like probably like a 4 p.m. or.
And I don't like not being
3:30.
good at it. Like I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't do the moves. I can't do the positions.
Well, we all, just like golf, we all have to start somewhere.
It's a journey.
I don't want to do that
It's a
at this stage
journey.
in my life.
You guys, thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shannon, I will continue to nudge you for the rest of time.
Yay!
So
I appreciate that.
you're not getting out of championship golf. You're going to continue to play 6,000 yards on those select tournaments that actually are like that. It's not
She's
all
going
like that.
7,000 yards and she's coming for you. So
Boom.
there is a
There you go.
target.
Just have to talk to me a little bit next time.
Swing
And
trainer.
go talk to her. Why are you talking to her? It's a freaking Levine nothing tournament. Talk to the woman.
She's
It
got a
wasn't-
routine.
Yeah, it wasn't
don't care.
She
intentional
was in
though.
the zone.
It wasn't
You were in the zone.
I guess I was in the zone.
zone?
Shannon. I'm
she
sorry.
was really worried about beating me, so she had to focus.
Thank you for being here, though.
Thank
Marci, you're the best. I'm so glad you moved from California and that you're in the middle of this community. I really enjoy playing golf with you. You
Thank
too,
you.
Shannon.
Thank
And
you.
Gary,
It's fun.
I
Yep.
mean, obviously we're going to play golf together soon,
Yeah,
Gary.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go right here.
It's
Force
going
him
to
right
be
here.
yes. Boom.
Yeah, what are you guys doing tomorrow?
I'm playing.
Have a wonderful new year and thanks again.
Be sure to check out the show notes for all the details on today's show. If you haven't already, please give a 5-star written review on your favorite podcast platform, or even screenshot this episode and send it to your golf buddies. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the first tee in a couple days.